નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી.
Standard 9th, Subject Science, Chapter 15, Improvement in Food Resources. So dear students, today we will discuss the major groups of activities. The major groups of activities for improving the crop yields. Crop yields means crop quantity. Are classified into crop variety improvement, crop production improvement, and crop production management. So these three groups you have to study. So okay, first of all, we'll see that crop variety improvement. This approach depends on, depends on finding the crop variety. Finding the crop variety improvement. Crop variety that can give the good yield. So that can give the good quantity. Good yield means good number, good in numbers. Varieties or strains of the crops. See, varieties or strains of the crops can be selected by breeding to produce for various useful characteristics such as disease resistance before cropping. And you have to see that disease resistance capacity will be there, response to the fertilizers, and product quality and high yield. So like these characters you have to search, then you have to select the seeds. So that on the way of incorporating desirable characters into crop varieties, and another way is also that hybridization method. So what do you mean by hybridization method? Hybridization means crossing between the genetically dissimilar plants. Okay, for example, here a plant A and then plant B. These two you have to, okay, plant A have the characteristics of what disease resistance power. Plant B has the resistance of high yielding variety. So these two you have to proceed. Then the coming one, the new one will be third one, whatever. But that is the offspring. That will be both the resistance power will be there. In this way, this is more hybridization you are saying. So hybridization refers to crossing between genetically dissimilar planets. This cropping may be intervarietal, okay, between the different varieties also, or interspecific also. Interspecific means between the two different species of the same group or the same family, or intergenetic between the different genera. So this can be what you can use the high yielding varieties of crops. And another way of improving the crop is that introducing the gene that would be provided desirable characteristics. So this results in the genetically modified crops. So you are saying through the gene, for example, seed is growing there, small seed, how to make it the big seed? So by the genetical character. But usually genetically modified groups can be done this way. But usually we are going for here hybridization method we are giving, what we are preparing the more. For new varieties of crops to be accepted, it is necessary that variety produces high yields under different conditions that are found in the different areas. It depends upon the areas to areas also. Farmers would need to be provided with good quality of seeds of a particular variety. That is, the seed should be able of the same variety and germinate under the same conditions. So that has to grow also. Cultivation practices and crop yield are related to weather. See, it depends upon the weather condition also, soil quality also, and availability of water. So these three are also important role. One is soil quality also, water also, and weather conditions also. Okay, and another one is, since weather conditions such as drought and flood situations are unpredictable, so these are all cannot be said. Varieties that can be grown in the diverse climatic conditions are useful. So you have to think before cultivating the crops also. So the plant should be able to withstand any sort of climatic conditions. Okay, and tolerant to the high soil salinity is also given here. So some of the factors for which variety improves done are higher yield. Say higher yield, high yield. So this also high yield to increase the productivity of the crop per acre. The acre will be there, so that will be you have to produce the high yield one. And second one, improved quality of the seeds. Quality considerations of crop products vary from crop to crop. So this is very different from crop to crop. Baking quality will be there. See, baking quality is important in the wheat. So you are before selecting the seeds, it should be what look for whether the cooking when easily baking power, what heating, what you are saying when you are go for cooking, whether it is baking or not. So baking product, protein quality also in the pulses, oil quality in the oil seeds. So this all will be six. See, baking quality is in the wheat and protein quality in the pulses, oil quality in the oil seeds, and preserving quality in the fruits and vegetables, long duration, it has to be there in the long duration. So like this, you should be look for this before growing the crops. And another one is biotic and abiotic resistance. So biotic means living and abiotic means non-living. See, insects and crops production can go down due to the biotic. Biotic means disease, insects, nematodes. And another one is abiotic conditions also drought, the salinity and water logging. Water logging we are collecting and heat and cold. So this also should be. So this resistance power also should be to these stresses can improve the crop production. And next one is change in the maturity duration. Change in the maturity duration means the shorter the duration of the crop. See, some of the crops will take longer time, 6 months or a year. Here, the short duration within 2 months, so that the farmer will get a benefit also. The shorter of the duration of the crop from sowing to harvesting, the more economical is the variety. So this is more economical for them. Such short durations allow the farmers to grow multiple rounds of crops in a year. So they can grow multiple crops. And next one is short duration also reduces the cost of the crop production. Uniform maturity makes the harvesting process easy and uniform maturity will be there. So this is easy for the farmers to harvesting and reduces losses during the harvesting time. And next one is wider adaptability. Wider adaptability means what? To make suitable, wider adaptability. Developing varieties for wider adaptability, the crop production under the different environmental conditions. One variety that can be grown under different climatic conditions. So means crops must able to adjust any sort of the environment. So to make suitable for that. So there is a wider adaptability power will be there. And next one is desirable agronomic characters. What is agronomic characters? The science of the plants, even animals, soil, utilizing for food, fuel, and fiber. So this is all you are saying for agronomic characters you are saying. See, desirable agronomic characteristics, tallness, profuse, with the greater quantity, and branching, these are all desirable characters, are fodder for the crops. Dwarfness, smaller one is desired, sometimes a tallness according to the our ambition, according to our will. See, desirable one means either it may be tallness or it may be shortness or it may be that desirable one that less nutrients are consumed by these crops. Thus, developing varieties of desirable agronomic characters help the higher productivity. Okay, so this way, this is the crop variety improvement. Crop variety improvement. So next one is that crop production management. We are learning from crop production management is what. In India is that as many other agricultural based in the countries, farming ranges from small to very large farms. See, Many are small farmer, many are large, again large farmer. Different farmers thus have more or less land also. Say every farmer has same land will be not there. More or less land will be there. Money also and access to getting the information using the technologies. So in short, it is the money or financial conditions that allow farmers to take up different farming practices or agricultural technologies. So according to the financial condition also, farmers will use the technology. So there is a correlation between the comparison between the higher inputs and yields. Thus the farmer's purchasing capacity for inputs decides cropping system as well as production practices. It depends upon the cropping system and production practices. Therefore, production practices can be at different levels. They include no cost, then production at the low cost production, and production with the high cost production also. See, the farmers will use, depends upon their amount or depends upon their financial conditions. Some are using the less low cost production, some are using the high cost production. It depends upon what the instruments and what they are using. So nutrient management will be there. Just as we need food for development, growth and as well as well-being, plants are also require nutrients for the growth. So how the human beings are needed, the similar way plants are also require nutrients. And nutrients supplied to the plants are air, water and soil. By the air, by the water and by the soil. So there are several nutrients which are essential for the plants. So several nutrients required by the plants. So air supplies carbon and oxygen. Hydrogen comes from the water. And soil supplies to other 13 nutrients. See how many nutrients the soil supplies. 13 nutrients, 13 nutrients soil is supplying. So this also underlined in dear students. Among these, some are required in the large quantities and therefore they are called as macronutrients. See, what do you mean by macronutrients? So large quantities require large quantities, and the other nutrients, the nutrients in the large quantities are called as macronutrients, and nutrients that are in the small quantities are called as used by the plants. Nutrients are used by the plants in the small quantities are therefore they are called as micronutrients. So remember, what do you mean by macronutrients and what do you mean by micronutrients? See, then one, deficiency of these nutrients affects physiological processes in the plants, including reproduction, growth, and susceptibility, means likely to be affected to diseases, resistance power also. To increase the yield, the soil can be enriched by supplying these nutrients in the form of manure as well as by fertilizers also. So farmers has to add manure and fertilizers. So dear students, now I will discuss with you nutrients supplied by the air, water and soil. See, air supplied by the nutrients is carbon and oxygen. So this is also so important for you. Remember that water supplied nutrients is hydrogen and oxygen. Soil is macronutrients also and micronutrients also. Macro means in large quantity, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the macronutrients, and micronutrients iron, manganese, boron, zinc, copper, molybdenum, chlorine. So here it will be 7. So total 13 nutrients getting from the soil. So this you have to remember. What do you mean by macronutrients? What do you mean by micronutrients? How many nutrients get from the soil? And what nutrients you are getting from the air? And what the nutrients getting from the water? So this all you have to remember in this part. Okay, so we have completed now the major groups of the activities for improving the crop is like crop variety improvement, crop production improvement and crop production management. So next in the next video we will go for the what is manure and fertilizers and irrigation and cropping patterns. So this all we will discuss in the next video. Okay, got the idea, students? Okay, we'll meet in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you for joining us.